Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of TEW 2020 WWE here as we continue on the road to the Royal Rumble, the first and major pit stop on the road to WrestleMania. We are into week 3 here, so we are halfway through the build-up. We got this week, next week's the go-homes, and then the Royal Rumble's here. Jesus Christ, I need to do a lot of editing. And to cut down on time, I'll have to edit this. Let's just jump right into things, shall we? My oh my. And we're kicking things off, as always, with another edition of Monday Night Raw, which is going to get underway with MJF coming out to the ring. MJF last week, of course, took a little detour, took a little trip himself to Mount Olympus, the penthouse suite of the Golden Gods, and issued the challenge to face one of Spanish Fly. The Golden Gods come out, LA, Socrates and Alfonso, and it's going to be Socrates Torres accepting MJF's challenge. So LA Knight and Alfonso at ringside for a 100, watching on as MJF versus Socrates Torres in, trying to think off the top of my head, probably the most AEW match I've done. And in the end, it is going to be MJF, yes, who comes out on top. A good length match, about 20 minutes. A nice strong opener, no promo to get underway. We're just going straight in with a nice banging match for an 89 between MJF and Socrates Torres. MJF in the end forcing Torres to tap out with the salt of the earth. Both getting 84. And they had a lack of psychology, but they still got an 89. So that's quite impressive, honestly. That is quite impressive. MJF gets to stand tall. Alfonso, checking on Socrates, getting him out the ring. Golden Gods start hitting up the mic. MJF getting on the mic, trashing LA Knight a bit. You better get used to this, you walking up the ramp and me still in this ring, because come the Royal Rumble, that's all there's going to be. LA Knight, obviously not one to be trash talked too lightly, gets in the ring. MJF and LA Knight staring down for a minute. Looks like it might come to blows when out onto the stage walks General Manager Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick getting on the mic, trying to calm things down and saying, listen, okay, the Royal Rumble is only 2 weeks away. It's just under 2 weeks away. Jesus Christ, it's coming quickly. And he says, we've been going over everything, me and the other general managers, me and upper management, and the space-wise, for superstars, it is tight. And you both seem to have your issues. And so I am announcing right now that next week it is going to be MJF versus LA Knight. And the winner of that match will earn a spot in the Royal Rumble. But the loser will miss out. For a 100, big announcement from Drake Maverick. One of these big superstars will be missing out on the chance to go to WrestleMania. Next week, MJF and LA Knight are 1-on-1. They had a match back in December. I can't off the top of my head remember who won that. I think it was LA Knight or a no contest. I don't think MJF won, but still. Next week, they will go head-to-head with the winner earning a spot in the Rumble and the loser missing out. So all to play for between these two big superstars for the 100. Lovely, 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 lovely. Oh Christ, when we're going to go to R-Truth's house. Knock at the door. Bobby Fish is there. Truth, I'm in the dog. Come on, dog. Bobby Fish like, Truth, you called, it was urgent, you said. So I hurried over. I rushed over. What's the issue? You see, dog, today it's time for the next big listen. You see, God, one of the most important things about looking after our baby is you gotta find time for ourselves, dog? So I've arranged a nice night out for you and me, a nice baby-free night out together, so we can bond as well as good co-parents will. In walks the babysitter, Akira Tozawa. I don't know, cradling the baby 24/7 child with a swaddle or something. The baby, wishing Truth and Fish a lovely evening for a 58. This is going to be fun. Our Truth and Bobby Fish are going to head out on a nice baby-free evening for the parents. An important part of parenting, finding time for yourselves, for your relationship, So very important from our Truth here, I do agree. Also, we're going to go back to the arena. We're going to go backstage. And you have Chase U walking through the corridor. Let's count them out. Andre Chase, Thea Hail, Idris Enofe, Malik Blade, and Bodhi Hayward. And they bump into the Outlaws. Yeah, the Outlaws. Stan Hansen, Hangman Adam Page, and El Bandito. You know, Stan Hansen full of compliments for these young whippersnappers up and coming. And Hangman Page stepping forward to Idris Enofe and saying that, you know, before he came to WWE, what he's seen since he arrived, he's impressed. And Hangman wants to get himself, you know, in ready shape and ready form. Royal Rumble coming up and everything, wanting to show what he can do as the new guy on the block, issuing a challenge to Idris Enofe, who happily accepts, of course, for a 67. Later tonight, Hangman Adam Page versus Idris Enofe, 1-on-1. It'll hopefully be a nice little match. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But for now, we're going to go back to the ring for the second match of this evening. It's going to be Kairi Sane looking to build her own momentum as we go towards the Royal Rumble. Taking on Nikki Cross, looking to bounce back from her defeat a few weeks back on the New Year's Revolution special of Raw to Chase U's Thea Hail. In the end, though, it is Kairi Sane on top with the insane elbow for 79. Good match. 82 Kairi, 65 Nikki. Happy with that, yeah. Kairi Sane comes out on top of the insane elbow in the end and picks up another victory. Go you, Kairi. Go you. While speaking of the Royal Rumble, we go to a little promo. Little promo videos for the Women's World Championship match. Showing the champion, the Kingpin, Io Sky, and her challenger, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. And it shows that they're both in Tokyo preparing. Back in, you know, both in their respective dojos over there. You can have some cameos from your big, you know, Joshis. I'm definitely not pronouncing it right. You know what I mean? Big superstars today. You know, you can have a bloody Stardom cameo for all I care. I do care. You can have one. And yeah, Asuka and Io are both just focused on getting ready. Both getting ready for this big first time ever matchup to finally come head to head. Both pairing, both trading. Contract signing next week. Raw next week, emanating live from Tokyo, Japan. And Io and Asuka will have their contract signing there for an 89. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Good. Nice little segment. I have high hopes for this match. I really, really do. Fingers crossed. Fingers so crossed. Whilst we are going to go back to the ring for that earlier announced match between the Hangman Adam Page and Idris Enofe of Chase U. The Outlaws at ringside, Chase U at ringside. Adam Page and Idris Enofe are ready to go 1-on-1. Both men giving it all they got. Both men, you know, doing well. Both men on nice little form, looking to keep going. In the end, only one man can. And in the end, it's a buckshot lariat that gets it done for an 80. 84 Hangman, someday Idris. 42 Idris. Adam Page does get the win. Idris Enofe putting on a nice little performance again. But Hangman and Paige comes out on top after the match, of course. You know, Hangman will help him up, shake hands, show respect. No beef. We got no beef here, but yeah, we do have a nice match. And then we're going to go to a place I find myself going to so often in these series, a very lovely restaurant. At the restaurant is Bobby Fish and R-Truth. You know, looking over the wine menu, deciding what to eat. R-Truth suggests that maybe Bobby would like the fish. He remembers that he's a big fan of it. Bobby says he's not really that interested in fish. He doesn't like the taste of it. R-Truth very confused. I just remember y'all talking about fish all the time, dog. Like where's the lie? Where's the lie? And then you had Bobby, and then you're talking about fish. And Bobby Fish explained that's his name. R-Truth very confused once again. Like, that's your name? You sure? Like the fish? But yeah, it's mainly just kind of like a montage. Both men smiling, laughing, telling stories, having some jokes. You know, Bobby Fish getting maybe a little bit too drunk, going over to a table of people, signing some autographs. You know me. You know, where's that lie? You know, you love my show. Signing some autographs. Just a very lovely evening. You know, end of the night. Waiter comes over with the bill. They look at the bill. Bobby Fish did have a lot to drink, and both of their faces drop a little bit for a 58. It's fun. It's just fun, you know. Look, you gotta have these segments, in my opinion. You gotta have these fun comedy segments. And Bobby Fish and R-Truth are my main hope for that right now on Raw, and I love them very deeply. Where's the lie? 58. Good. Whilst we're going to go backstage to Kathy Kelly here, and Kathy Kelly is here interviewing Angel Garza. Angel Garza is in the main event tonight, taking on one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions Finn Balor in a Royal Rumble qualifying match. Last week, Chad Gable defeated Finn Balor's partner Adam Cole to earn a spot in the Royal Rumble. And Angel Garza, focused. He's focused. He's not thinking about Chad Gable. He's not thinking about Randy, or he's not thinking about anything else but himself and what is next. He says last year he returned at the Royal Rumble and he came so close, but he finished second. The final superstar eliminated, so close to winning. This year he goes one step further. This year he wins the whole damn thing. Because Garza says he is ready to finally get his hands on his WWE Championship again. The WWE Championship was snatched away from him, that was taken from him. He is ready to reclaim it for a 100. Lovely. Nice job. Nice job, Garza. Very well done. Ready for his match later tonight, which should be really good. Finn Balor, Angel Garza. It sounds like a banger in my head. And so I assume it will be in real life. But for now, we're going to go to the ring, and it's time to burn in his light, because it's the Intercontinental Champion, Austin Theory, coming out. You know Austin Theory. The greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, the one true legend killer, and tonight, another legend falls to the now Austin Theory. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the next legend that will be crushed under my boot. When out comes Austin Theory's opponent, Rick Rowley here, WWE Hall of Famer, you know, the hardcore legend. You know, he could, oh Christ, he could have brought out any of his other personas, such as Lube Glove. I should have planned something, but no. And the best on the top of my head is Lube Glove. So leave a comment if you would like Rick Rowley's persona Lube Glove to make an appearance. for a 99, Rick Rowley comes out. Oh Christ. Rick Rowley comes out. And then Rick Rowley takes on Austin Theory. In the end, Austin Theory does get the win and keep a hold of his Intercontinental title, his 7th defense. What a champion Austin Theory is, getting the win over Rick Rowley here with the A-Zone. For an 80, good match. 85 Theory, 61 Rick Rowley. Happy. Austin doing very, very well. Austin has definitely grown a lot in ring-wise this past year. I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with his development. Austin Theory, you know, burning his light, nothing you can say, raising that Intercontinental title over the fallen Rick Rowley, you know, boot on his head. When out comes the Hurt Business, all of them, MVP, Ezra Judge, Moose, Bobby Lashley, and are now back from injury. The fans popping hard, of course. Angelo Dawkins, of course, got injured back in November in the Intercontinental Championship Survivor Series tournament. Yeah, he earned a spot in the semi? Or did he literally earn a spot in the final? He might have literally earned a spot in the final. I can't specifically remember. I think he might have. Either way, finally back from injury, Angelo Dawkins, Hurt Business storming down, and MVP saying to Austin Theory, they've been watching this little clown show for the past few weeks whilst they've been back training, getting ready, because now Angelo Dawkins is back and he's going to take the championship that should have been his, Jesus Christ, should have been his in the goddamn first place. for a 91. Beautiful. Angelo Dawkins is back, and he's looking straight at that Intercontinental Championship of Austin Theory. He's no Rick Rowley, though, and he's no Lube Glove. Christ, oh my God. What else? We're going to get close to an end to a beautiful night with showing R-Truth and Bobby Fish returning home. But Bobby Fish, a little bit, both a little tipsy. Bobby Fish a bit more. He's drank a bit more. He's leaning. R-Truth got his arm around him. Come on, dog, let's get you in here. They go in the house, looking around. Where's Akira? Akira's asleep next to R-Truth and Bobby Fish's baby, which is asleep in its crib. Akira's out in a little chair next to his arm, his hand on it, he's rocking the crib back and forth to get the baby to sleep. What a good babysitter. And yeah, R-Truth and Bobby Fish, a magical night. R-Truth looking at the baby saying, we're doing a good job, dog. You and me, we got this. Turns around, Bobby Fish also, falling asleep next to Akira Tozawa now. R-Truth covers them both in a blanket. Lovely moment. Lovely. 63. If you'd like a polyamorous throuple between these three guys, let me know in the comments down below. Christ, my comments are just going to be asking my comments to be filled with Lube Glove and begging for a throuple is definitely a way to go. We going to get ready for the main event by going to Kathy Kelly here. Kathy Kelly interviewing one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, Finn Balor. And Finn Balor is ready. He was the first Universal Champion. He's been NXT Champion. The greatest NXT Champion. And right now he's Raw Tag Team Champion. But what's next for Finn Balor? He's keeping a hold of this Raw Tag Team Championship. But it's also going to the Royal Rumble. This accent's definitely getting away from me. They're going to the Royal Rumble, getting the win there, going to WrestleMania, and getting a World Championship around my waist again for a 100. Beautiful. I personally think it would be, quite sad for Finn Balor to cover up that gorgeous waist with a championship belt. But what is he going to do? He's a heel. But we're going to go to the match. Angel Garza versus Finn Balor. Banger in bound. And yeah, Garza and Balor just go for it. It's a long match. Okay, it's slow and steady wins the race. Both men want this. Garza fighting with that higher intensity he's had over his last few matches. This kind of extra bit of rage that's kind of inside of him has been bubbling to the surface. And Finn Balor as well, but Finn Balor maybe less so, is the same intensity he's kind of had. He's been on a good roll of things, has our Finn. Match going on. Garza, Balor battling it out. In the end, Finn Balor and Garza going at it. Balor does the slingshot. Yep, to Garza, accidentally hits the ref, knocks him backwards. Balor, not letting it get to him, goes to the top rope, quick coup de grace onto Garza, covers him. Referee, bit hurt right now, can't see it. Balor getting annoyed, back to his feet, going over to the ref, trying to wake him up and get your ass up, huh? Count me pin, huh? Finn Balor then turning around into a stunner from Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens and Finn Balor having their beef over the last few weeks. Balor, telling Kevin Owens to get over it, saying he's not good enough to be a world champion. If he couldn't hold it, he shouldn't have had it. But they've been going at it. Finn Balor and Kevin Owens have been arguing a lot of back and forth. Owens clearly having enough and clearly still unable to find Seth Rollins, who he really wants. Turns Balor around, hits the stunner, out of the ring. Garza crawling over, making the cover on Finn. No, Garza can get to his feet, lift Balor up, and hit the wing clipper for the 1, 2, 3. Angel Garza does get the win thanks to that tiny little bit of help from our friend Kevin Owens. And Angel Garza is heading to the Royal Rumble match. 89, I'll take it. 83 Garza, 87 Balor. Exceptional match. I'm happy with that. I don't know anything laid it down. Finn Balor's just getting old, which is sad. But what are you going to do? Still a good match. I'm happy with that. Garza gets to celebrate, gets to do a little point to the side. That's where I'm going, winning the Rumble. And Balor gets to look very, very angry at Kevin Owens at the top of the ramp. Yeah, for 100. Beautiful. Triple H is chosen. They're not doing too well at the moment. They are having fallouts all over the place. But Angel Garza doesn't care because he's going to the Royal Rumble for the 100. As overall, Raw gets us a 94. Yep, good episode, good show. A lot of Bobby Fish and R-Truth. Where's the lie? MJF LA Knight next week in a Rumble qualifier. Owens costs Balor. Garza's going to the Rumble. Angelo Dawkins is back and coming for Austin Theory after his win against Rick Rowley. There's so much going on. So much going on. But a good episode. I'm happy with that. As, once again, without further ado, let's just jump forward, shall we, to next up. Let's go to the black and gold, because it's time for another edition of NXT. And NXT gets underway here with Legado going to the ring. Andrade, Zelina Vega, Dominic, and the Cruiserweight Tag Champs Humberto and Santos Escobar come out, and Andrade, his sights are set. You know, Royal Rumble, triple threat for the NXT Championship with Sheamus, and I Swerve Scott. Andrade says that the inclusion of Sheamus is could be seen as a distraction, but it's not. His sights are set on one thing, and one thing only, and that is regaining his NXT Championship. Andrade heading NXT again as its champion. When he's interrupted, of course, by Sheamus. And Sheamus not alone. Charlie Dempsey by his side as well. Charlie Dempsey providing a save. Charlie Dempsey earned his respect. Charlie Dempsey teaming with him last week. Charlie Dempsey with him. And Sheamus says, I ain't a distraction, fella. What I am is the man who's going to kick your ass. And the man who's going to kick Isaiah Swerve Scott's ass. And the man who's going to walk out with their NXT champion. Some verbal back and forth. Both men ready and raring to go and show what they got. So later tonight, 100 by the way, later tonight, main event, it's going to be Andrade versus Sheamus 1-on-1. Both men getting ready for their match at the Royal Rumble, the triple threat, going head to head, individually, heading into it first of all. But for now, we're going to continue the show with a 6-woman tag team match. It's Next Gen, Candice LeRae, Cora Jade, and Roxanne Perez taking on #Trending's Tiffany Stratton, Persia Protter, Buffett and Your Boyfriend, and Ginny, their personal stylist. Announced last week, the winning team, all three will earn a spot in the not Money in the Bank, Jesus Christ, in the Royal Rumble match. And in the end, both teams going at it. But only one team, there's 3 spaces after, that's a 10th of the match, Jesus. Only one team can earn a spot in the Rumble, and the team that does is Next Gen. Next Gen do it. Candice LeRae hits Ginny with a heartbreaker and gets the victory for a 59. How ironic that Ginny makes her in-ring debut, for me, days after she retires IRL. Yeah, she gets pinned here. Candice gets the win. 62 Roxanne. Roxanne's done well, hasn't she? 61 Candice. 54 Persia. 53 Cora. 44 Tiffany. And 23 for Ginny. And Cora was off her game, but that's all fine. Next Gen earn their spots. They get a little celebration. Candice celebrating with her girls. You know, she's been training them up, and now the former women's tag champs also going to step foot into the Royal Rumble match. Lovely. 66. Good. All 3 of these women will be in the Rumble, looking to stake their claim on a women's title match they're choosing come WrestleMania. But for now, keep things going in ring with a battle of the Dukes. It's Duke Hudson versus Duke Sterling of GOATED. Goaded. Big Dub, Orin Mentor, and Nate Preston accompany him, of course. Duke Sterling announcing his intention to use that breakout tournament contract win for an NXT North American title match at the Royal Rumble with Montez Ford, who is at ringside to watch on comms because he's very charismatic. So let's get him on the commentary team, please, for this. And yeah, Duke Sterling having this match, Duke Hudson. If he wins, Duke Hudson can no longer use the name Duke because there's only one Duke allowed around here for ego purposes, and because I don't want to keep accidentally clicking the wrong one. And in the end, it is a win for Duke Sterling. He continues building up a bit of momentum, heading into match with Montez Ford. Gets another win here with God's Last Gift. And Duke Hudson loses the name Duke. He legally can no longer refer to himself as Duke Hudson. It's just Hudson now, I suppose. Hashtag cars. 34, 43 Duke, 34 Duke. That doesn't help you. Sterling got a 34, Hudson got a 43. And Duke Sterling gets the win. Duke Sterling gets to stand till Big Doug Henny in the contract, raising the contract in the corner, staring at Montez Ford. Montez Ford raising that North American title. These two guys ready to go head to head come the Rumble for a 66. Lovely. Duke Sterling underperformed. Duke, you're meant to be breaking out here. Please, for the love of God. But 66 is good. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Duke's got to built up. He's got to do better. But we're going to keep things going with another 6-person tag match, 6-man tag this time. And it's hashtag trending again. Grayson Waller, Reggie, and Ethan Paige taking on the elite squadron assembled of the Shameless Brawlers, the Boston Brawler, and Jimmy Shane, accompanied by the Brooklyn Brawler, of course, and Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis, he's got still got starts on the Grayson Waller. Made his return last week after Grayson Waller took him out of a bounty hunter. If you haven't been watching the last few episodes, you're going to be very confused by some of these statements. That's not even mentioning Michael Myers' appearance, but still, 6-man tag, trending versus Loomis and the Sheamus Brawlers. And in the end, Dexter Lumis, goes for Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller runs. Dexter Lumis attacked for Ethan Paige. Boston Brawler helping out. Ethan Paige taking Boston Brawler down. Dexter Lumis choking out Ethan Paige. Reggie goes, Reggie, legal man he is, goes in the ring to attack Dexter Lumis when he is caught off guard by the very handsome Jimmy Shane, who takes him down. I've got to put Jimmy Shane's finisher in the game, just to remind me what it's called. But he takes down Reggie with, I don't know, a springboard moonsault reverse DDT. That sounds like something Jimmy Shane could do. And gets the win for a 55. Lovely. 63 Dexty, 50 Reggie, 45 Ethan, 44 Grayson, 37 Boston, 28 for Jimmy, as Dexter Lumis and the Shameless Brawlers do get the win. Grayson Waller running, hightailing up the ramp. Dexter Lumis continues to choke out Ethan Paige as he stares down Grayson Waller, and the Shameless Brawlers get to celebrate with his dad, the Brooklyn Brawler, for a 50. Lovely. Yeah, one night only, the dream team assembled of Dexter Lumis, Jimmy Shane, and the Boston Brawler. How beautiful. But we're going to go backstage. We're going to go backstage to Shinsuke Nakamura walking around on his own, not with Johnny Gargano, which is surprisingly not usual at this point. He's on his own. Johnny's not here tonight. And yeah, Nakamura walking around backstage when he bumps into Chase U on a field trip here. On a field trip, looking around. Thea Hail picking some big wins recently. He's enough doing the same. Why don't you explore? Go on a little field trip to the XL Center. They're never here after all. And they bump into Nakamura, showing some respect. Andre Tate's picking up Nakamura, and asking Nakamura later tonight, can we have a match? I think it'll be really good for, me to get in the ring, show my students some things, give them a little demonstration. He's a superstar of your quality. Nakamura happily accepting a calls for a 61. Later tonight, Nakamura will take on Andre Chase. Hopefully a good match. Fingers crossed. Back to the ring, though, and a lot of people are out there. The Mafia Raja making their entrance first. Let's see if I can remember off the top of my head. Jinder Mahal, Sangha, Shanky, Veer, and the Singe brothers. Yes. Veer Mahan steps in the ring. It's all about family. Out comes the family. Tony's still not here, though. So you got Don Wagner, Otis, Tucker, Madcap Moss, Don Wagner, and Happy Harland. Yep. And Happy Harland gets in the ring for this match between Happy Harland and Veer Mahan. They've been going face to face for a bit now. They've been staring each other down. Finally, these two colossuses, these two titans are going to collide. Harland versus Veer. both men banging out. It's just, it's just hard hit after hard hit. There's a slugging contest between these two monsters. Of course, as you could probably guess, it does descend to chaos at ringside with a big brawl. The Mafia Raja taking the upper hand. It's all about family. Walks out Tony D'Angelo. He's not on his own. Walking out onto the ramp with him, you got Ariana Morella. There you go, his beautiful, beautiful partner. They're not married yet. And of course you have his son, who he still has not acknowledged as his son, sadly, Joshi D'Angelo, little Joshi. Tony, crowbar in hand, storms down to the ring, taking out members of the Mafia Raja as he goes. Finally, head-to-head with Jinder. The two start brawling it out. The commotion at ringside. Veer getting a bit distracted, which allows our main man Happy the opportunity, sees the chance, takes the chance, takes down Veer Mahan. What the hell is Parker Bordeaux's finisher? Happy Harland. He just plows into Veer, manages to finally knock the giant off his feet, and then he can do a running power slam. That's the generic big guy move, isn't it? He can hit a running power slam. For a 47, Happy Harland gets a very big victory to put a big smile on that face, as always. 38 Happy, 49 Veer. Fine with that. Harland picks up the victory here. In the end, the family getting one over on the Mafia Raja. The family all into the ring. The Mafia Raja retreating up the ramp. Tony getting on the mic. Little Josh, can hand it to him. He's a good kid. And Tony telling, hey, you. Hey, Mr. Mahala. Next week, you and me, one-on-one, we settle this like men, huh? Capiche? For a 54, someone remind me to put little Joshi into the group. He doesn't have his beautiful Italian flag around him. I need to fix that. But yeah, next week, Tony D'Angelo and Jinder Mahal one-on-one. Comprende? Capiche? I understand. Yeah. Tony Jinder one-on-one. Happy Holland getting a nice little win for himself here. And Veer Mahan looking angry as ever. Beautiful. But we are going to go commercial. We come back. Match up here between Annie Cooper of Next Gen and Ivy Nile of the Diamond Mine. The whole Diamond Mine at ringside. Putting the thoughts of Dominic and that out their heads for the moment. To support Ivy for her match here against Annie Cooper. Annie Cooper alone. Next Gen, not out there. No Candice, no Cora, no Roxanne. Just Annie Cooper on her own. Match starts, match going on. Ivy Nile is kind of dominating a little bit. She's got the Diamond Mine at ringside, cheering her on, shouting her on. She's a little bit, Ivy Nile's on top. Annie Cooper maybe a bit unawed. Overcome? What's not a word? Match going on. Out comes to ringside Trick Williams. Tricky. Makes his way out to ringside. Starts banging on the mat, starts cheering on Annie Cooper. She notices him. She's a bit surprised. What's he doing here? But he's cheering her on. He's shouting support, telling her she can do it. And Annie Cooper starts to fight back into this match. She starts to come from behind, but she's fighting back into this. Even though a bit caught off guard, maybe got a bit too cocky of her early domination. Annie Cooper making this a much more even contest with Tricky shouting and supporting her on. In the end, though, it's not enough. Ivy Nile does manage to lock in a Dragon Sleeper in the end and get the win. They didn't click. Oh well. 33 is fine. 38 Annie, 26 Ivy. Ivy Nile does get the win. In the end, Annie Cooper is defeated. Diamond Mines, Malcolm raising Ivy's arm. Malcolm bigging her up. Taz driving. No, Roderick raising. Someone raises Ivy's arm. Let's say Roddy for now. Malcolm bigging her up. Diamond Mine make their exit. Trick Williams, there you go, into the ring. And he helps Annie to her feet. Annie, a bit beaten down, holding her neck from the Dragon Sleeper, holding her throat even, probably. Trick Taylor is okay. Putting a good effort. You're putting a good effort. You did a good job, huh? Don't want to see y'all out here on your own, though. You need some support. You need people who are going to understand you and help get you to the big booty potential you got. And he just pulls out a business card. Grabs it, holds her hand very gently. He's a gentleman. Places it into her hand. You give Tricky a call when you're ready to talk. Trick leaving, Annie looking a bit confused. Confused is the word. For a 39. What will Annie do? Thoughts. I'm unsure on the Big Booty Baddies low background. And it's a very important one, of course, because it's the Big Booty Baddies. So I'm kind of unsure. The one with the text, I felt the text was too kind of blurred. I've tried just a peach emoji here, but that seems a bit off as well. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Try and help me come to some type of conclusion on what to do with it. But still, going to continue on with the match announced earlier tonight. Andre Chase at Chase U taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. Hold Chase U at ringside. Chase taking some chances to show his students what they got, but it gets to a point where he can no longer demonstrate or explain what he's doing because he's just got to focus on the fact he's in the ring with Shinsuke Nakamura. In the end, Nakamura, too much. Kinshasa gets the win. 77-94 Nakamura, who looked really good out there. 46 Chase, happy with that. Andre's defeated, but after the match, they showed their respect. Chase U would bow to Nakamura. Nakamura like, okay. Just a little respect afterwards, of course. Because lovely. And then we continue backstage now. There's a lot of matches tonight, I've noticed. I booked it, I should have noticed already. But we're going to continue backstage with Toxic Attraction. Toxic in the Toxic Lounge. And they've got all the gold, of course. Women's Tag Champs and NXT Women's Champ. And they've heard little Bianca's talk about her and her little buddies, Indy and Shotzi, taking the gold from Toxic. But that's not going to happen. Because you see, Toxic Attraction run NXT and they run the women's tag division in all of WWE. And Bianca and Indy and Shotzi can hope and can dream of being the best. But the BESTs around here are toxic. For a 91. Good. Toxic Attraction obviously looking to keep a hold of those titles against Bianca, Indy and Shotzi. But what will happen? We'll have to wait and see now, won't we? But good. As we go back to the ring for the match announced last week between Cassidy Rain and Toni Storm. Tricky Willie's back at ringside because you can never have too much of a good damn thing, I say. We've all? No, just Trick and Tatum once again. Cassie doesn't want a whole big booty baddies around there riding a stretcher or anything. She just wants Tatum, but Tricky's coming, because Tricky liking what he's seeing against Toni Storm. The winner gets in the Women's Rumble. Toni Storm turned down the big booty baddies. Trick was courting her to become a big booty baddie. She said no, quite aggressively in the end. Trick wasn't getting the point in her defense. And at that moment, Trick met Cassidy Rain. And things turned around for Trick and the big booty baddies. But now, Trick looking to show that, Toni rejected a good thing and that the person who came instead of her is better. But who will win? Cassidy Rain, Toni Storm, which is heading to the Rumble. In the end, the woman who is heading to the Royal Rumble match is a woman with a big booty. That doesn't narrow it down, does it? It's a woman with a big booty who's a part of the big booty baddies, because it's Cassidy Rain in the end, hitting that ripcord lariat onto Toni Storm for the victory for a 64. Nice little match. I'm happy with that. 62 Cassidy, 57 Toni. That's good. Cassidy's come a long way, hasn't she? She's doing very well rating-wise. As Cassidy Rain does get the win. She's still got that breakout tournament contract, having won the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament. And now also, she's heading to the Royal Rumble match itself. Little celebration after, Tricky bigging her up. Tatum raising her arm. 65. Toni looks very sad. Lovely. Toni looking sad isn't lovely, I want to clarify. But still, yeah. Cassidy Rain going to the Rumble. She's done very well since she debuted. And Tricky Willie's here. I just really love Tricky Willie's little picture with the fur coat and the glasses. Big fan. Trick It Ain't Easy. Trick Williams' original series coming soon. I'll definitely mention it when it releases, won't I? God, my brand as the Titus O'Neil guy is going to waver unless he shows up soon. So at the moment, I'm just becoming more and more the Trick Williams guy. But they're both very good things to be known as, so I don't mind. Whilst we are going to go to a promo before the main event. A promo from your NXT champion, Isaiah Swerve Scott. And Swerve says that, he's heard all this talk about Sheamus, about Andrade, but the fact of the matter is that he is the NXT champion, that NXT is his house, that he is the main event of NXT. He's seen people online, he's seen people in the commentary table talking different, acting different, but the fact of the matter is he is the only champ that matters on this goddamn show. You understand? And come the Royal Rumble, he's going to beat Andrade again, and he's going to beat Sheamus again, and he's still going to be the NXT champion. NXT's still going to be his house, and he comes back to his house live next week. 96. Very good. Very good, Swerve. Swerve back live next week, kicking off the show, if I can remember that. He'll be appearing live at the very least, ready for their Royal Rumble triple threat match. Speaking of, though, main event, Andrade, Sheamus, the two men he'll be fighting, both looking to prove they're better than the other, both looking to build some momentum heading to that Rumble match. In the end, Andrade and Sheamus going at it. As you'd expect, Andrade more technical, Sheamus more power. Sheamus starts to take advantage in the end. He's setting up in the corner, banging his chest. Getting ready for a bro kick. Dominic Mysterio onto the apron. Goes to hit Sheamus, ducking underneath. Bro kick onto Dom on the apron, taking him down. Santos and Umberto try and get involved. Charlie Dempsey's out, steel chair in hand, taking Dem down. Sheamus, though, Aldous at ringside, tries to turn attention back to Andrade, who's finally to his feet and dazed. Sheamus goes for the bro kick, but Andrade clearly had the time to recover enough to duck underneath the bro kick and roll Sheamus up for the 1, 2, 3. For a 92, very good match between the pairs you'd expect, probably. 95 Andrade, 76 Sheamus. This is also a match I just can't imagine happening. Just like Bronson Reed Edge. I can imagine this a little more in my head, but I still can't imagine it fully. So if they have wrestled, let me know. But still, Andrade comes out on top in the end, thanks to Legado. The Legado factor playing a part. Legado get to celebrate, going up the ramp, standing tall. Sheamus in the ring, looking very angry. Charlie Dempsey by his side, also looking very angry. They have that in common at least for a 95. As a nice little episode of NXT, I think. Very in-ring focused. Comes to a close for a 92. Yeah, good show. Getting a lot of people on the cards. A lot of people in the process of getting build up. I mean, names like Duke Sterling, Shameless Brawlers, Happy Harland, Ivy Nile, who aren't going to get the highest ratings. But you got to build them up. And I'm fans, so I'm going to. So yeah, NXT. I'm happy. Good show. So we've got one more show to get through this week before we get to next week's go-home shows. And so let's jump to Friday night and the Blue Brand, because it's time for another episode of Smackdown. And Smackdown gets underway with the entrances of Cesaro and Ricochet, ready for their final match in their best of 7 series, with the winner earning a spot in the Royal Rumble. I wanted to give them a chance to highlight themselves. I had a lot of thought about putting this in the main event to kind of conclude things. Other stuff set for the main event that I kind of have to do, makes more sense, but still, I wanted to give them a spotlight, some highlight, open the show, ladder match, contract hanging above the win, above the ring, with the spot on the Rumble. Guaranteed. So I'm Ricochet, just go to war. Ladder match, you can have a lot of fun spots, Ricochet and ladders, they're like jelly and jam. Yeah, like peanut butter and jelly, there you go. They go well. My man's flipping all over there. Cesaro as well, very good with ladders, his strength. Ricochet, high flying moves, jumping all over the place to try and get to the top of that ladder to get it. Cesaro, though, quick thinking, pulling ladders down. 75 for the entrances, by the way, I didn't even mention that. And yeah, Cesaro and Ricochet just going at it. Match coming to an end, both men at the top of the ladder. Cesaro climbed to the top, reaching for that contract. Ricochet springboards right to the top, though, of course he does. And the two men battling it out at the top. Neither wanting to come up short. But then, out of nowhere, appears Braun Strowman and Control. Braun Strowman shoving over the ladder. Cesaro and Ricochet both flying off into the top Yep, into the top ropes. Cutler and Blake attacking WC3 as well. Strowman just standing there. Joe Gacy, getting Strowman to lift back up the ladder, and then Gacy climbs the ladder and pulls down the contract himself. The match gets an 89. Jesus Christ, these guys are on fire, aren't they? A sports entertainment finish ladder match? Now, okay, I see the issue. You can't have a sports entertainment ladder match. So it says Ricochet won. He didn't. Damn it. No, Ricochet didn't win. Okay? Sports entertainment finish. Joe Gacy pulled down the contract. Neither Ricochet or Cesaro won the match ever so technically. 89. That feels like a dirty score. I was expecting less because sports entertainment. 89 Ricochet, 68 Cesaro, both banging it in. Yeah, Control beat down on them. And then after the match, Gacy handing that contract over to Braun Strowman. And now he announced Strowman would be in the Rumble last week, and now handing this over to him as well. 72. Control very much have their sights set on that Royal Rumble match for Braun Strowman. Lovely. As then we're going to go backstage to the women's locker room. Liv Morgan and Ilja just having a nice little chit-chat when in walks the $1 Million champion Jade Cargill. Defeated Ilja last week, but she goes up to him. Ilja goes to speak, but Jade just shuts her down immediately and says, I wanted to talk to you. Saying to Liv Morgan, now you may have wanted to run from me and paw me off and your little friend here last week, but no. Tonight, I'm beating you. Liv happily accepts that challenge for an 85. Jade Cargill wanting Liv rather than Ilja and getting Liv later tonight. Whilst we go to the ring now for Deonna Purrazzo, Rhea Ripley. Announced last week, Rhea announced herself for the Rumble. Deonna not too happy with Rhea just showing up like she owns the place. Match finally. Deonna and Rhea going at it within the end. Nightmare. Picking up a little bit more momentum heading into the Rumble for a 79. 78 for Rhea, 71 for Deonna. Happy with that. Rhea Ripley does come out on top and, keeps building that momentum. She announced herself for the Rumble. She's got her sights set on winning that Rumble, and she said setting her sights on the Women's World Champion Io Sky, wanting to prove once and for all that she can beat her and get that final belt she doesn't have for her little collection. Beautiful. Let's go backstage to the Tribal Chiefs locker room. Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, main event, Jey Uso. And Roman saying to Jey, he did a good job. He's looking better now. Main event, Jey Uso. And tonight, main event, Jey Uso. I've got my trust in you because I know what main event Jey Uso's capable of. I know what main event Jey Uso can do. And I know that main event Jey Uso tonight is going to teach Bronson Reed a lesson. For 100, Jey, in a place between psyched up and staring into the never-ending abyss of the void. Maybe, not fully there, kind of. But 100, later tonight, in the main event, Jey Uso taking on Bronson Reed. Reed beat Solo and the Von Erichs last week. 2/3 of the group formerly known as the New Day. And now getting Jey Uso tonight. Main event, Jey Uso at that. Lovely. As we're going to go to a segment that will please a lot of people. We go to Keith Lee. Not the man on TikTok who rates food, who keeps confusing me when people talk about him. We go to Keith Lee, the wrestler, in a car. Keith Lee's driving around, driving down roads, listening to the radio, a bit of karaoke, talking about those beautiful, limitless country roads that are going to take me back to my home. Keith Lee. And then finally, Keith Lee drives past the place, but then the car stops. The car backs up. Keith Lee looks out the window and he looks at the sign that's there. He smiles and then Keith Lee backs up more and he drives down the road that the sign was leading to. And the car would go past and then we can show the sign and it's a beautiful little wooden sign showing that this is the location of the Bullard family farm. Beautiful. Keith Lee, he's been at 100, by the way. He's been on his own against the Fiend and carrying across the Relic, And he's wanting to find some allies, wanting to find some support, and maybe he's decided this might be the place to look. I personally am looking towards the interview area because Kayla Braxton, the star of Friday Night SmackDown, interviewing Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed looking forward to tonight. Last week, he beat Solo, he beat Marshall, he beat Ross. Tonight, Jey Uso in the main event. Next week, Bron Breakker if he wants some, and then at the Royal Rumble, Bronson Reed is ready for war with the Tribal Chief and ready to become Universal Champion for 100. Lovely. Lovely. Good job, Bronson. Good job, Kayla. Always lovely to see you. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh my, I am tired. God, I'm speed running these episodes. I've never recorded like 2 in a day, but here we are. Into the ring. Jade Cargill versus Liv Morgan announced earlier tonight. Jade beat Ilja last week. We're going to continue the momentum heading to the Rumble. Jade Cargill, greatness itself, against Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan become a bit more of a challenge than Ilja did last week. You know, a bit more experience behind her. Liv Morgan coming very close at one point with a roll-up. In the Jaded, reverses it into a roll-up for a 2 3/4. 2 3/4. Pick up Liv Morgan. In the end, though, Jade Cargill does manage to hit the Jaded and does manage to get the win for an 81. Good match. 77 Liv, 62 Jade. Jade doing well, Liv doing very well as always. And yeah, Jade Cargill does keep a hold of her $1 million championship. It does defeat Liv Morgan here, building up a little bit of momentum herself towards the Royal Rumble match. Lovely. Let's go backstage. Let's go back to Kayla Braxton here because I can't bear to be away from her for too damn long. She's with Control. Gacy, Strowman, EC3, Cutler, and Blake. There you go. Asking about earlier tonight, what the hell was that, boys? Maybe not like that. But yeah, questioned them on earlier tonight, their actions. And Gacy saying, Kayla, we did simply what needed to be done to stop the war that has been raging between Ricochet and Cesaro. And now you see, with the Royal Rumble coming up, I want to help cleanse both of their souls of this anger and fighting they've had. They do not need to go to war with 28, 29 other people. No, no, no. You see, I saved them here, Kayla. And then, you saved who? It's everyone's favourite double act. It's 2/3 of the group formerly known as the New Day, Big E and Kofi Kingston. Having a little laugh, having some jabs at Joe Gacy. I can't do comedy like Big E and Kofi can. I wish I could. But yeah, having some back and forth. Strowman not looking very happy. Gacy holding him back. And Gacy saying to Big E and Kofi that you both are talking about the Royal Rumble, about this war, about the fighting and the anger. Well, next week, let us allow some of that to be released in a match. 89. Beautiful. Next week, Control versus 2/3 of the group formerly known as the New Day. 89. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's such a long name, but it's stupid fun and I love it. Lovely. Lovely. Let's go to the ring, everybody. Because, God, if you believe your way's the only way, then you are the fool left to die. It's the Judgment Day. Edge, Ciampa, Black, Priest, Dijak in the ring. And Edge is here. Like he said he would be. He's ready because this is his year. This is his ring. SmackDown's always been his show. And the time to lay out judgment is upon us. The Royal Rumble is almost upon us. The year of Edge is upon us. Interrupted by Breezango. We love Breezango. Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Tyler not too happy. This isn't your year, Edge. 2022, it was kind of my year. Won the US title, went to War Games, won in War Games. And I want 2023 to be a good year for me as well. And for Fandango, for my partner, for my best friend. Edge, I see you talking And I've seen Judgment Day, what they've been doing for months and months, and we're kind of sick of it. And you see, we took on the Roman Empire and we lived to tell the tale, and so we are pretty comfortable with this. For an 84, Tyler issuing the challenge. Edge, all too happy to accept, look to build. Just look to get back to look to get back into some shape. Shake off any rust that he's acquired. And so yes, we are going to get Edge versus Tyler Breeze in a dream match right now. And the two men go at it. We get some close spots. At one point, Edge goes for a spear. Tyler Breeze hits the supermodel kick, though, dazing Edge, and then right into a beauty shot, which gets Tyler a 2.9. Edge kicking out the last possible second. Tyler Breeze so close to a massive win it would be for him. But in the end here, Edge does manage to hit the spear and put down Tyler Breeze for a 1-2-3 for an 82. Nice little match. 77 Breeze, 66 to Edge. Yeah. If you had asked me this time last year, I did not expect Tyler to be in this kind of position, but he has inexplicably been pushed a lot more than I thought he would. And I'm not complaining, because everyone loves Tyler, don't they? Yeah, Edge gets the win, he gets the stand till Fandango helping Tyler out, get him out of there. Judgment Day in the ring together. Edge with Black and Ciampa, Priest and Dijak. When out comes the Women's Universal Champion, the final member of the Judgment Day, Portela Muerte. She makes her way down to the ring, inside the ring for the first time ever. I feel pretty comfortable saying all 6 members of the Judgment Day. Side by side by side by side by side by side. There you go. And yeah, Portela and Edge kind of both at the front. Just a little nod of approval maybe. Portela raising the Women's Universal Championship in the air. Edge raising his arm in victory. When from behind, Edge is attacked by the Judgment Day. From behind, Edge attacked by Black, Ciampa, Priest and Dijak. No. From behind, Edge attacked by Priest and Dijak. Priest and Dijak, the two men who debuted alongside Portela, who joined the Judgment Day alongside Portela, who've kind of been the ones that have been alongside Portela more than Black and Ciampa, yeah. They attack Edge, and they start beating down. Black and Ciampa just stand there. They don't do anything. Priest and Dijak beating Edge down. No, you don't have to get finishes, but they can beat him down. Edge he's crawling to get back to his feet. He goes over to Black and Ciampa. He's crawling himself up on the 3 men who form the Judgment Day here. Edge kind of pleading for them to help. When Black looks over at Ciampa and Ciampa looks over at Black, and then Ciampa just grabs Edge, puts him between his legs, and hits him with a fairy tale ending for an 85. Edge completely laid out here by the former members of the group. He was the leader of the Judgment Day. Edge's prone body, Portela just stands over it. Hell, she can put 1 foot on it even, raising that Women's Universal title in the air. And behind and beside... No, not even behind her. Beside her. United front stands Black, Ciampa, Priest and Dijak for an 85. Lovely. Edge... God, made a Smackdown live return, beat Tyler Breeze, and then got kicked out the Judgment Day. Long night for Edge. Let's go somewhere fun, shall we? Let's go to the Bullard family farm. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been like, when's he going back to the Bullard family farm? Right now. It's... Keith Lee parks the car. He begins to walk over. He's knocking on the house. There's no answer. But then Keith goes, here's some commotion. So goes around the corner, he looks, and then the barn doors are wide open. In the barn is a wrestling ring. In the wrestling ring, you can see Big Bad Thaddeus Bullard, and you can see two kids training with him. Keith Lee makes his way over, a smirk on his face. Salutations to you, Mr. Bullard. Thaddeus stopping and looking over at Keith. And then looking over at 2 kids and telling them to take 5. 2 kids, they leave the ring. The kids, Christ, the kids are his kids, obviously. If you couldn't tell, it's not just 2 random kids in the barn. It's his 2 sons, Titus and TJ. Titus and TJ, they go take 5 from their wrestling training with Big Bad Thad. Thaddeus leaving the ring. Him and Keith leave the barn even. He gets Keith out the barn, What do you want, Keith? Keith saying, Mr. Bullard, I was looking for allies and companions in the war that is being waged against myself and Friday Night Smackdown by the ones they call the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, and the Relic Karrion Kross. Now, you and I may not have seen eye to eye in the past, but I do believe, truly, that you care for Friday Night Smackdown, and so I do believe, truly, that there is no better man to help me in the crusade I'm waging against their crusade they're waging than you. And Thaddeus, he takes a moment. Takes a moment to think, and he says to Keith, listen, Keith, I took a break. I took some time after losing the Universal title to you, after the Bullard brand all turned on me, after losing, and then after SummerSlam losing to Braun Breaker. Yeah. After all of that, I took a break, and I realized what was important. It wasn't becoming Universal Champion. It wasn't my quest to leave this legacy of championships behind me that I set about when I threw away the name Titus O'Neil and declared myself Thaddeus Bullard. No, the thing that mattered, the legacy I'd leave, wasn't there. It was here. So, Keith, you want me to come back, but I don't know about that. I'm getting old, Keith, I'll be honest. I've done everything I want to do there. Right now, the only legacy I want to leave behind is in that barn right there. My two boys training right now to someday, hopefully, be WWE wrestlers too. So right now, Keith, you asking me if I want to come back and fight this crusade you're talking about, then I think the answer is no. And Keith looking a little disappointed, but saying, I understand, Mr. Bullard. I do. But think about it, will you? Ponder it when you're dreaming. Before your head falls asleep on the pillow even, ponder it. Ponder what WWE you want your sons to enter into someday. Is it a WWE full of opportunity and hope, or a WWE full of anger and hatred and despair left behind by the Fiend Bray Wyatt and the Relic Karrion Kross? Ponder it, Mr. Bullard. And I truly believe once you have pondered over it, you will make the right choice. For a 94, Keith walks off back to his car, and we just end on a shot of, Thaddeus just looking after Keith, thinking for a moment, but then turning back to the barn, telling the boys, come on, break's over, time to get back to action. I don't know why I went for this voice. It's like Stan Hansen's in the ring. Oh my goodness. 94 is very good. Titus, Christ, this is going to get confusing. Titus Bullard, adequate gimmick, fine. TJ over here has got great gimmick. So we got Thaddeus, formerly Titus. We've got Titus, currently Titus. And we've got TJ, who is Thaddeus Jr. So, confusing names, but say hi to TJ and Titus, training to be WWE superstars under their father. Isn't that a beautiful story? 94, great. That went on. Of course it did. It's Thaddeus. I've missed him. We all have. Main event time. Bronson Reed versus main event Jey Uso in the main event of SmackDown. Where else? Paul Heyman at ringside. Just Paul. You know what? No, Roman will come out as well. It's main event Jey Uso. He's proud of him right now. He has faith in him. He's going to come out and watch at ringside in a nice fancy chair. Paul Heyman by his side. Jey looking to impress. Well, Roman, yeah. His chief, looking to earn that love again that he's felt these past few weeks. And he's just come back from a broken nose as well, so there's that. Jey fighting from behind, of course, the smaller guy against the much, much bigger Bronson Reed. Doing pretty well. Doing better than you might think he did, okay? He's fighting like his life depends on it, because maybe it does, okay? But still, Bronson Reed's strength, size, power, starting to take advantage. And the end, Reed manages to get Jey down. Climbs to the top rope, ready for the tsunami. When out rushes Braun Breaker. and Solo and Marshall and Ross. Bron Breakker, first of all, run to the apron, shoving Bronson Reed off the top rope to the outside of the ring even. Big fall, beating him down on the outside of the ring. Solo and the Von Erichs helping as well. You know, Jey Uso manages to sit up in the corner of the ring, looking very, very sad, very frightened and very lost as Bronson Reed gets rolled in the ring. The Roman Empire just beating down on him here. 88 for the match, first of all. 86 for Bronson, 74 for Jey. Happy with that. Very good main event. And yeah, they're just beating down on Bronson Reed. You know, Roman stands up and gets into the ring, tells him to stop the beatdown, looks at Jey in the corner, tells him to go to the top rope. Jey quickly does as he's told, goes to the top rope and hits the Uso splash onto Bronson Reed. Roman telling the ref to count. The referee does. It's just symbolic, but still. 1, 2, 3. Lovely little symbolic win there for Jey Uso. Then Roman getting the mic, leaning down to Bronson Reed and telling him that you want to see what happens to people who don't acknowledge the truth, who don't respect their tribal chief. You want me at the Rumble, Bronson? You can have me. And what happened tonight with your ass on the mat and the Roman Empire on top, my empire on top, happen all over again. For a 100, beautiful. Roman accepting Bronson Reed's challenge for the Royal Rumble here. And the Roman Empire gets a stand tall, as Smackdown overall gets us a 94 rating. Very good show. I mean, Thaddeus Bullard returns, so what more could you want? And you know what? Not only did he return, he brought 2 more Bullards with him. So what more can you ask for? That's going to be it for today, though. I know you can't wait for next week. Now Thad's back, but you gotta. But to make sure you don't miss a thing, first of all, let's leave a like for the return of Thaddeus Bullard. Nothing else. I'm the Titus guy of nothing else, so let's leave a like for Titus if nothing else. And no, I'm talking about Titus turned Thad, not Titus. It's going to get very confusing. But yeah, leave a like if you've enjoyed. I hope you have. And subscribe for more Go Home shows next week. And then the Rumble's the episode after. So yeah, don't want to miss a thing. So yeah, like, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. And as always, I just want to say a very special thank you for watching.